Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Colenso. Welcome to the show. Hello, everybody. Hump Day Wednesday. Welcome. Thank you all for joining me, and I do appreciate it. I do appreciate you being here on Three from Deep, this all NBA podcast on the Boom Broadcasting Network. Speaking about the Boom Broadcasting Network, guys, jump on, like, subscribe, join us. We need to strive for that 5. We're striving for that 500 subscribers and beyond. So please jump on Boom Broadcasting. It's free. The YouTube channel. Subscribe. Drop me some comments. I do appreciate it, and we do appreciate your support. We got a lot of great content going on. The sports world is heating up right now here. Besides the NBA, you have the MLB heating up here. Chris DeLuca doing the dugout debrief. You have the NFL. Off season is getting hot. You got the draft coming up. You got all kinds of great NFL things going on. So you got to check out Aaron in the Gridiron Address. So, and then of course, right now, nothing's hotter than wrestling. They got a lot going on in the wrestling world. I don't know too much about that, but you need to check out Mike with Mouthing Off with Mike. He does a great job dropping that wrestling knowledge. You also have to check out the president of Boom Broadcasting, Mr. Michael Davis. He has some wrestling shows also and drops a heck of a lot of knowledge. And then also, I can't forget Mr. Lucas doing his Wrestling of Destiny. So, guys, we got a little bit of everything for you here on Boom Broadcasting. So please jump on and help us out here. We're striving for that 5. We want to make sure that we bring you the best content at all times. And can't do it without you. You are our fans, and we appreciate you. So let's jump right into the show here. What are we going to discuss today? Well, first thing I want to discuss is I need to do a stat correction. Guys, I tend to make some mistakes in this. I'm still new at the podcast game, and nobody's perfect, so I'm not saying that I'm anything close, but I need to make a stat correction for my Monday show. I made the mistake of thinking LeBron James on Sunday night was going to reach 50,000 points. I record the show Sunday nights. The Laker game was late. He only needed 18 points. He's averaging over 24 points a game. So I'm thinking LeBron James is going to get 18 points. No problem at all. And what does he do? LeBron fails me and scores 17 points. Now, they did pull out the victory. They beat the Clippers. Luka dropped 29 points, 9 assists. He's just playing phenomenal for the Lakers right now. We'll get into some of the other things about that trade here in a little bit. But you know what? Michael Jordan wouldn't have failed me. So, LeBron, he's still the GOAT. You made me look bad because I called you Mr. 50,000. You're Mr. 499999. So they do play. I'm recording this show on Tuesday night for Wednesday. They do play Tuesday night. I suspect that LeBron will get 1 point to reach 50,000. So I'm still going to call him Mr. 50,000 right now. So LeBron, don't do that again. I gave you all kind of props in the last show. I built you up. And all I needed was one more stinking point from you. But no, you didn't do it. So, but I'll let you slide a little bit. You're still having a phenomenal season. And you're still the king. So, you're not the GOAT, but you're the king. But jumping in that, guys, we're going to get into the soap opera that is the Dallas Mavericks. We'll talk about that for a little bit here. We got our NBA power rankings. I'm going to touch base on that here a little bit. The playoffs are heating up. There's some teams that are just on fire right now. So I want to get your opinion if you think these power rankings are right. I'm going to give you my top five greatest NBA teams of all time. I'm pretty excited about this one. There's some great NBA teams out there in NBA history, and we'll talk about that. And then, of course, at the end of the show, I'll do my little layup line. We'll have my little quick hit stories. So I appreciate you guys showing up with me here on a Wednesday. Sit back, relax, have a little cup of coffee or a little drink, whatever you need to do. to just sit back and enjoy, and we'll jump into the show. This Dallas Mavericks drama had me thinking of back in the 80s, the Dallas television show, just kind of that soap opera feel. This has the days of our Mavs lives kind of vibe to it. I want to touch on this, and I want to go through the storyline here that the poor Mavs are dealing with right now. And we're going to start from the beginning. February 1st, we all woke up to probably the biggest trade we have ever seen. The Mavericks trade Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, a role player, and 1 draft pick. The drama begins. February 2nd, Nico Harrison has his press conference with Jason Kidd, talking about we're on the same page. As Jason Kidd sits there with this just utterly shell-shocked look on his face, while the GM of the Dallas Mavericks is explaining to his fans and the general public of why he traded one of the top 5 NBA players currently in the NBA away. February 4th, the Los Angeles Lakers welcome Luka Doncic. Also, too, February 4th, the Mavericks, another trade Quentin Grimes to the 76ers. The drama continues. February 7th, the Mavs introduce AD, the guy that's going to replace Luka and take them to the promised land of trying to win a championship. Then February 8th comes. AD debuts, starts having a great game against those Houston Rockets, but in dramatic fashion. Goes down in the third quarter in a heap. Only like Anthony Davis can do, which he's done so many times. Then February 9th, Dirk Nowitzki attends Luka's Lakers debut. Is he sleeping with the enemy? Dirk Nowitzki, Mr. Mav, brought them a championship. Hall of Famer, showing Luka Lakers support. Interesting. The drama continues. February 9th, Mavs fans are ejected from the game for saying, fire Nico. Like the drama wasn't enough. You've just added fuel to the fire. That is the days of our Mavericks lives. Then February 12th, at an SMU game with Nico Harrison in attendance, the whole student section starts chanting, fire Nico. Just keep poking at that bear. Then February 15th, as if things couldn't get any worse, Mavs assistant Darrell Armstrong arrested for aggravated assault. Who shot JR? I don't know. But now you have a Mavs assistant having a run-in with the law. More drama. February 21st, the Mavs' famous music video comes out, and it's got players blacked out because, of course, it's missing a few key ingredients in that music video. February 21st, Dirk Nowitzki speaks out, talks about how weird it is with all this going on with the Dallas Mavericks. Again, Mr. Dallas Maverick himself, concerned, confused about what the Mavericks are doing. This doesn't sit well with the fans. February 25th, Luka plays the Mavericks in LA. Drops a triple-double in a win. The pain from the Mavericks continues. The drama continues to build. February 28th, Luka. They showed a nice little mural was created of Luka Doncic in Dallas. How much he was missed, how much he was beloved in that city. They painted a giant mural to show how much they missed him. March 1st, you're thinking, well, new month, maybe some new energy. Quentin Grimes scores 44 points for the 76ers in a win against Golden State Warriors. Another player you traded away, prospering. The drama, the intrigue, the disgust on Mavs fans' faces. March 3rd, to really add to the drama, the Mavericks raised ticket prices 8%, citing we're going to invest in the team. This, again, does not sit well with Mavericks fans. How much more drama can this become? March 3rd, Kyrie Irving goes down with a knee injury. The ultimate disappointment in a month-long saga. Kyrie Irving, who has played his heart out, 24.7 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists. He has been the bright spot in this dark time for the Dallas Mavericks, staying positive. It's got me choked up. Kyrie limps to the free throw line and drops 2 free throws, injured, and then is carried off the court. Then March 4th, the ultimate sadness for Mavs fans. Kyrie Irving is diagnosed with a torn ACL, ending his season and ending this traumatic month for the Dallas Mavericks. The days of our Mavs lives brought before us over the month of February into March. It has been an unbelievable month for the Dallas Mavericks and their fans. You can't write this. This looks like a soap opera. This looks like an episode of Dallas. From the highs to the lows, to the ultimate lows. You can only feel bad for Mavericks fans. You can only feel bad for Kyrie Irving, who had his issues in the past with other teams, who was berated and belittled and called a bunch of different names, and was somebody that didn't belong on a team and wasn't committed to basketball and just all these other things. But when he came to Dallas and started playing alongside Luka Doncic, Kyrie changed. He became the basketball player that we all know he is, that we saw in Cleveland before his drama. For him to get hit with this is painful. Just as an NBA fan, to watch him go through that. Unbelievable. So Kyrie, get well, get better. I want to see you back out there on the court. I know you miss Yuri Amano. I know you miss Luka and playing alongside with him. But what you have done over the past few years resurrecting yourself and your career, and your aura has been absolutely amazing. And I got to give you props for that, man. Where else is this Mavs soap opera going to go? Unbelievable. All right, guys. The drama's over. Let's jump into some power rankings. NBA.com threw out their power rankings. Right now, everything is heating up. There's some teams on fire. Playoffs are coming up pretty soon here. You got some good records out there. Let's talk about the East. Tier 1, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Best record in the NBA right now at 50-10. They've already clinched a spot in the playoffs, playing superb basketball, team basketball. Do you guys agree that that team is the best team in the league? East, West, whatever you got. I think they're close, but I do have them as the best team in the NBA right now. From top to bottom, the way they're playing, Cleveland Cavaliers. Tier 2, they have Boston and New York. Now, as a New York fan, I'm okay with being in Tier 2, just behind Boston and the Cavs. But what I'm not excited about is that we have not been able to beat the Cavs this year. We have not been able to beat Boston this year. So, do we belong in Tier 2? I don't think so. I think we're kind of still in Tier 3. In order to be up there, I think we need to beat those teams. So, a little disappointed in New York right now. Still playing great basketball. Still an unbelievable record for them. Jalen Brunson playing out of his mind. Karl Anthony Towns, the whole team. I love it. But you got to beat the best in order to be considered amongst the best. Tier 3 was Milwaukee, Indy, and Detroit. I'm scared about Tier 3. And I think that the Cavs, Boston, and New York need to watch it. Because Milwaukee, with Giannis Antetokounmpo, written off at the beginning of the season, playing really well, I think they have the power, as long as everybody's healthy, to take down either the Cavs or the Celtics. They've been there before. They know what it takes to win. Giannis knows what it takes to win. Indy, good team, still a little young, still hasn't really won much, but still a dangerous team. And Detroit, don't let them continue to stay hot, because they are still hot right now. Cade Cunningham playing like a first-round draft pick. If they get hot and kind of take the first swing, I think they have a shot, a puncher's chance to kind of beat either the Cavs or Boston. Still very young, no muscle memory on how to win, but don't go down in a series against Detroit Rock City. It's going to be a tough out. So Tier 3 scares me. And those top 3 teams, Cavs, Boston, and New York, you better watch it, because Milwaukee, Indy, and Detroit, they can take you out. And in a series, I think they have a puncher's chance. Tier 4 is Miami, Orlando, and Atlanta. Miami is pretty much, unfortunately, left for dead after the Jimmy Butler trade. I think they need to do some retooling down in Miami. Orlando has just been hit all year with injuries. Still a young team. I think they need a little more help. And Atlanta and Trae Young, always kind of right there, but just not enough oomph. Trae Young still needs a little help, although he does have the New York Knicks number. So, Ice Trae, I can't stand you. I don't think any of those teams are going to bark at those top 6 teams. And then Tier 5, Chicago, Philly, Brooklyn, and Toronto. You're talking about the bottom of the barrel here. So, Cavs, best team in the East, the best team overall. I think so right now, as of today, everybody healthy. Cavaliers are the best team to beat. Even though Boston won last year, I got them number 1. What do you guys think? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of the East. The West is bunched up a little bit more. OKC, tier 1. It's hard to beat that. They're 50-11. So essentially 1 game behind the Cavs for best record. Los Angeles Lakers. Talk about a hot team that just got energized. They just literally put a top 5 player on their team. LeBron James playing MVP basketball at 40 years old. In second place now. They have jumped the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Rockets. Can they sustain that? That's going to be interesting to see. I still think the Lakers, the closer they get, they need to start limiting these guys some minutes, especially LeBron, especially Luka, because you need both of those guys healthy. If you don't have both of them healthy in the playoffs, you're not going anywhere. But if you got both of those guys healthy and they energize the rest of that team, the Lakers are not going to be an easy out. So tier 1, OKC. Tier 2, the Lakers, Denver, Memphis, and Houston. So you can kind of see in the East, you had Boston and New York. You had 2 teams in tier 2. Tier 2 down in the West, you have 4. Houston, I still think, is a little young. Memphis, brief spurts of greatness. Ja is unbelievable to watch. Jackson Jr. having a phenomenal season. Denver, the Joker, averaging a triple-double this year. So I think he's on the heels of SGA for MVP. But we're going to talk about that here in a little while. But that's a heck of a tier. You talk about 4 teams that can get you. And then when you go into tier 3, you got the Clippers, Golden State, Minnesota, the Kings, and Dallas. I'm writing Dallas off. They're done. No Kyrie. That team is a hot mess right now. The aura of stank is just all over them. You feel bad for Mavs fans, but your year is done. But Clippers doing okay, kind of hanging on to that 7th seed. Golden State playing a little better. Now they got Jimmy buckets, 8-1 with Jimmy on the floor in that 6th spot right now. Minnesota had a great year last year. They've been kind of playing a little subpar this year, but catching a little heat right now. And Edwards playing, like Anthony Edwards. I still don't like some of the comparisons that he had last year. Win something, and then we can start comparing you to other people. But until then, let's keep quiet. Let your basketball talk for you. But at tier 3 is not going to be an easy out for anybody. The Kings still have a really good team, depending on what's going on with Sabonis and his injury. So Kings and Dallas, I think, are kind of falling backwards a little bit. But Minnesota, Golden State, and the Clippers, I think they have a shot at beating some of those top teams, especially Golden State. They have that muscle memory. When you have Steph Curry on the floor, he knows how to win. He knows how to just stick a dagger in your heart. Can he do it this year? I don't know. It's going to be a little tough. OKC is on fire, but you got to win. Win something, OKC. Get to the finals, and then we'll talk. But those are the power rankings, guys. I have the Cavs number 1, Oklahoma City number 2, and then it's a logjam. I think Boston, I'm going to go Lakers, Denver, Memphis, Houston, Milwaukee, Indy, Detroit. It's just, you got so many great teams out there. This is probably going to be one of the best, most interesting playoffs I think we've ever had in the NBA, because anybody could beat anybody. There's no just phenomenal team. Yes, the Cavs are playing out of their minds. OKC, out of their minds. Both 50-win teams, but both vulnerable. Both have not made it to the promised land. Can get beat in a 7-game series. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. All right, guys, let's take a timeout. we're going to jump right in to my top 5. Please hit me some comments. I always do my top 5, but I want to see what you guys think, what your top 5 is. I got my top 5 greatest basketball teams of all time. This was tough because you go throughout NBA history, there has been some phenomenal basketball teams out there. But let's start it off. Number 5, the 88-89 Bad Boy Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Joe Dumars, Aguirre, Johnson, Rodman. Those guys, they didn't hit you in the mouth. They hit you in the mouth. This is when you can actually play defense. This is when, excuse me, I'm beating my microphone up. This is when you can actually play like some physical basketball. That's why the guys today, I don't think any of them could make it back then. You take an elbow from Bill Laimbeer, a lot of times you weren't getting back up. But the 88-89 Detroit Pistons, that's why I'm glad to see the Pistons doing so well right now, because they were a fun team to watch. 82-83 76ers, one of my all-time favorite teams. Just a great team. Moses Malone, Dr. Julius Irving. Woo! Tony, Mo Cheeks, Bobby Jones, the Fo team. Although they went 4-5-4, they did have one of the best winning percentages in the playoffs at 12-1. So not, Mo Cheeks. I'm sorry, Moses Malone with the Fo. We going Fo everybody. They gonna sweep everybody. They missed it by one game. So, but still a fun team to watch. Philly, those days aren't here no more. The process is over. All right, I have to throw one of my Knicks teams in there because I love my New York Knicks. It was hard not to bring some of those 90 Knicks in there. I got my man Patrick Ewing back there, who I love, John Starks, Charles Oakley, Grandmama. Charlie Ward was one of my favorites too, but didn't crack the top 5. It was tough. But the 69-70 New York Knicks did. Reed, Frazier, Barnett, DeBusschere, Senator Bill Bradley, Cazzie Russell. Woo! One of my all-time favorites. Championship team. Historic performances. Number 2. And I had to throw this in here. It's a little shady, but one of the greatest basketball teams of all time. And I don't care what you say. I think so. And if you doubt me or say something about it, let me know in the comments. But the 1992 Olympic Dream Team. That was one of the greatest assemblies of basketball talent ever. Magic, Stockton, Leitner, Robinson, Ewing, Bird, Jordan, Drexler, Malone, Barkley, Mullen. That team was stacked and probably one of the greatest basketball teams, collection of talent of all time. Absolutely amazing. That's my number 2. And the number 1, and it breaks my heart as a Knicks fan to say it, was the 95-96 Chicago Bulls. The 72-10 team with Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Harper, Longley, Kukoc, and Kerr. Now, the only reason why I couldn't put Golden State up in there because Golden State ended up beating their regular season record at 73-9 in 2016, but they didn't win the chip. Draymond gets suspended. LeBron plays out of his mind. The block. This is for you, Cleveland. So, number 1, because Chicago got it done, because Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. The 95-96 Bulls comes out of retirement and does that. That is greatness, guys. Period. So, 88-89 Bad Boy Pistons, 82-83 Fo 76ers, 69-70 Knicks, the 92 Olympic Dream Team, and the 95-96 Chicago Bulls. Let me know yours, man. I'm curious. What's your top 5? Something on my hand here. I didn't see that. Just came home from work, so like a little grease in my hand. Bear with me here. All right, guys. Now let's get into the end of the show. A little layup line. I like to do my little stories here. Not to go too deep in it because we got a lot going on and we got a lot more to cover down the road here, especially for our Saturday show. But let's start off with SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander drops 51 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds in a win against the Houston Rockets. It's his fourth 50-point game this season. He's the NBA scoring leader right now at 32.6 points per game. I still think right now, clear cut number one. SGA, barring something catastrophic, is going to be the NBA's most valuable player. I think Joker is second. I wouldn't be surprised to see LeBron James possibly third. Maybe Giannis, 3, 4, flip those guys. But right now, SGA with that 51 performance, and it was a beautiful performance. If you guys watched that game, some of the shots he was making, some of the passes, just his fluidity of his game is beautiful. So SGA right now, my clear-cut MVP. Second layup. Golden State, again, 8-1 with Jimmy Butler in the lineup with a win against Charlotte, 119-101. Steph, 21 points, 10 assists. Butler had 13 points, but this was the homecoming. Of course, anytime Steph Curry shows up in Charlotte, it's kind of a homecoming for him because he's from that area. So everybody kind of makes a big deal about the babyface assassin coming home. But Golden State hanging on to that 6th seed. I had them written off at the beginning of the season, the Warriors' woes, but they're showing me up right now. The scrappy Warriors just hanging in there, playing good basketball. When you got Steph the shooter, there's not much. And then real quick, guys, we're going to shout out the players of the week. Week 19, Zach LaVine, averaging 28 points, 5.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 3 wins. That's why the Kings are not to be messed with. Sabonis, I hope you get healthy. When they traded away De'Aaron Fox, everybody's like, well, wait. And when they got Zach LaVine, and they got a boatload of draft picks, the Kings are sitting pretty good. I think 1 or 2 pieces, they could be someone to deal with in the West. It's just, unfortunately, they're in Sacramento. But Jalen Brunson from the East, Week 19's Player of the Week. 29.3 points, 5.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and 3 wins. My MVP. Because I love me some Jalen Brunson. I think he is playing out of his mind. Thank you very much, Dallas Mavericks. I didn't add that to the soap opera that is you guys, because it just seems that everybody Dallas trades away, whether it's Brunson, whether it's Porzingis, Luka, Grimes, everybody seems to succeed when they leave you. So, but shout out Jalen Brunson for being Player of the Week. Got my Knicks playing well. I just need you guys to start getting ramped up for the playoffs here because you're going to have to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Boston Celtics at some point in time, making it through the round of the playoffs. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you showing up. I'm Jason Colenso. This has been 3 from Deep. You can check me out 3 from Deep 3 times a week. Mondays at 12, Wednesdays at 12, Saturdays at 12. Like, subscribe, drop me some comments, anything you want me to talk about. Give me some feedback. I'd like to hear from you guys, man, because I appreciate you watching. Everybody that watches the show, I thank you so much for supporting me. And guys, support Boom Broadcasting. Get on there and subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. We want to see that support. We want to continue to bring you only the best content we can. And I will see you on Saturday. Peace.